and welcome to day one of the first Who Would Win of the week. And I'm gonna go with an easy one because for some reason when I wrote them all down, I missed Mondays. But we're gonna go with an easy one. I haven't done one by Corey Jackson in a while. Thanks, Corey. I always love your suggestions. But I'm gonna go with one of the easier ones for just right now. And that would be one he actually suggested a few days ago, which is Kickass versus Casey Jones. Now, my thoughts aside, you want a good video for Casey Jones versus Kickass? Watch Batinthesun's video for Casey Jones versus Kickass. If you haven't watched Batinthesun, watch Batinthesun. They do a lot of. Excuse me, one second. I got something in my. That's annoying. They do a lot of live action videos with actors. Domino, you're not coming in here. I don't get it. My dad's home, and she immediately sees me go upstairs and wants to, he's like, no, pay attention to me. He's like, no. So if you hear scratching at doors because she wants to come in. Batinthesun does a lot actual actors act. I mean, they do fan votes basically who's going to win, but it's actors acting out. The directing quality is great. The action's fantastic, and no matter who wins, it's usually a good fight. So go check them out. But plug. Not that I work with them. I doubt they have any idea of my existence. But no, Casey Jones versus Kickass. Now, I know enough about these guys to basically not have to write anything down, which is what I can do is right off the top of my head. But Casey Jones, essentially, he's a street vigilante, works alongside Ninja Turtles. Now, in terms of physical condition, well, I can't say he's in peak physical condition. He's in really good shape for a guy's if he's going to be a vigilante, he has to go and work out and things along those lines. Plus, he's trained to some degree with the Turtles, and therefore he's in pretty good shape. His main gimmick though is wearing the hockey mask, having the hockey the puck, hockey stick, all that. He basically uses sports equipment as weaponry. But that being said, what he's really good at is improvising. I mean, he's got a very brawler style of fighting, but again, he's got at least some mild form of training with training with the Turtles. But he's very good at improvising and using the tools at hand: a hockey stick, hockey puck, goalie mask, golf club, baseball bat, whatever it is. So he's also a pretty tough dude too. He can take a hit. Kickass. Now, Kickass, I'll admit I'm one of the guys who actually has not seen Kickass 1 or 2, but I know enough about the kid. See, he's a kid who wanted to go and be a superhero. I think he was like 16 years old or something like that. Something in that area. He was in his mid-teens when he started out. He's in his later teens when he in the second one, if not early 20s. But I think it was later teens. So when he started, he got his ass kicked the first time. He has no real finesse, at least to begin, or had no real finesse at all. He's just like, I got like Billy clubs, yeah, and then just gets the shit kicked out of him. But surprisingly, what they did in his surgery to kind of help him heal was, I believe they gave him a couple metal implants, but more like just healing. One second, let me actually get Kickass up here so I can reference him correctly. So Kickass character. Okay. Nope. Kickass character. Nope. Character. There we go. So if I remember correctly, there we go. Characters, Kickass, blah 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 blah. So yeah, we have Kickass. Hit girl, Kickass. Not the comic, the character. So irritating. Apparently have not announced Kickass 3 yet, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a Kickass 3. Come on, where are you? There we go, finally. And again, you're gonna hear Donald scratching at the door. Sorry about that. Now let's see. No powers or anything like that, but let's see. Can you give me the ability? There we go. Skills and ability. It's got a high pain tolerance. Metal plates and braces were implanted in several areas of his body, along with damaged nerve endings, which gives him a higher pain tolerance than normal. But he basically, while he learned to use the jetpack, he pretty much fights usually with like his billy clubs, more or less. But he's got skills and other weapons, but generally speaking, he just carries the billy clubs on him, like batons, I guess you should say. But he does have a pair of he does have a small taser which he keeps in his batons, which interesting. He did have a jetpack. He has upgraded body armor, so he good absorption. He's got decent hand to hand. He's pretty okay with hand to hand combat. In terms of like the context of the movie, he's an expert hand to hand combatant and pro with like batons and stuff like that. Especially when compared to someone like Hit Girl. She still kicks his ass, but she still kicks ass. Yeah, kick ass's ass. But he's pretty competent with them. Now the question is, who would win? And if you want my honest answer in this, again, go watch Batinthesun's video on that. Now, if you want to go watch that before I give my actual answer, what I mean by that, I encourage you to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want to pause now, sure, you're at the... So come back to the 6 minute and 30 mark. You'll find out what my answer actually was. And my answer actually was Casey Jones. And the reason for I believe Casey Jones is, one, he became a superhero kind of on a whim. Yeah, he wanted to do good and help people, but he became a superhero kind of on a whim. He started out just terrible. Even by the end of the movie, he got a little better. He had some things that helped him out, but and by the first movie, and I know what you're saying. He didn't see the first movie. What are you talking about? Just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean you don't know what happened. It's like one of those. Here's a good example. I don't watch Game of Thrones. My sister and dad do. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I still follow up on Game of Thrones and know what's happening in Game of Thrones, just because. Because curiosity factor, and I don't care that much. So, it's kind of the same with Kickass. I know how Kickass ended. Second one, I also know how it ended. So I know kind of how Kickass's story went through in those story arcs and things along those lines. Now, you might also argue the comics are slightly different. One way to look at it, absolutely, but we're going with the movie interpretation. And if we're going by the Kickass from the beginning, yeah, he completely loses to Casey Jones. Even if we're going by the Kickass at the end of the second one, that version gives Casey Jones a better run for his money. Here's the thing. Casey is... Well, let's break down how this fight actually happens. Let's say Casey is, taking on some thugs. Kickass comes in, they get away, and the fight goes down. Now, initially, Casey Jones, I think, is going to have the edge. Casey Jones, especially with a hockey stick, is going to be able to, be pretty decent with the batons. He regularly is going out beating the crap out of criminals. Kickass is too, but in a different sense. Because he feels the need to clean up the streets, whereas Kickass might also feel that way, but not in the same sense that Casey Jones does, if you get what I'm going at. So the fight's going to go down, and initially Casey, I think they're going to be even. Casey might have the slight edge, but all credit where credit is due on Kickass's part, he is a master with his baton. So, he's going to start getting some clubs in. Casey's probably going to throw a punch, land a good shot on Kickass's chin there. Kickass probably, shake it off. But then, Casey just charges into him. Just boom, then starts slamming into him. And, Kickass has a high pain tolerance. His armor's pretty good. So now their fighting's going on. In terms of skill, I might actually give it the actual overall skill, how skilled they are in a hand-to-hand combat situation, to Kickass, who has probably a bit more of a formal actual fighting style, whereas Casey Jones, even with training with the Turtles a little bit, still a bit more of a brawler, street brawler. But here's the thing about that. One, while Kickass might have more experience and is probably the better fighter in terms of overall skill, Casey is trained with people who are... You can give Kickass all the credit you want. He couldn't go toe-to-toe with Michelangelo, who is the worst turtle. But you could argue that too. In terms of skill, he's on the lower end of the turtles. Leonardo's clearly the leader for a reason. Raphael's clearly the strongest. Donatello's the smartest. Michelangelo is the face and the pretty boy, and the comic relief. And yeah, Kickass couldn't, because they're ninjas. They're trained ninjas who are physically way superior to him. And And Casey's trained with him enough that, yeah, when he's up against someone who's more skilled than he is, he's going to use what he can to his advantage. And guess what? He's a guy of the streets. So guess what? He's going to fight dirty. He's going to street fight. And I can't recall if Kickass wears a cup or not, but if he wears a cup, then kicking him in nads ain't going to do anything. If he doesn't, well, So Casey's probably going to, maybe go for a knee. Now, going on one of his knees, he's probably got some of the metal implants and braces there, so it might not break his knee, but it's gonna loosen up. He's he's gonna do it for like a haymaker, start wailing into him. Kickass then charge him back, just go. It's gonna be a lot of back and forth. Both these guys can take a hit, but Kickass does have the better body armor and pain tolerance. But the reason I do give this overall to Casey is because he's not above fighting dirty. He really is not. So if he's going to maybe break an arm or kick you in the nuts or hit you in the ribs or, gouge an eye if he has to, he's going to do it. And Kickass don't play that game. Kickass, at least not really. He's not a dirty fighter's thing, as far as I know. So, yeah, and then, it's going to get to the point where he finally gets to stick back, maybe just, boom, clocks him out, more or less. Because, he's got a high pain tolerance. Doesn't mean he's immune to pain. Maybe some of his nerves are dead, but it doesn't make him immune to pain, especially in his face and his head. No, enough shock, enough power, boom, just night-night. Now, is there a way Kickass wins? Sure, he could theoretically outlast Casey Jones. I do believe that. But I don't see that being the likely scenario. I think Casey's still just a bigger dude, generally speaking, than and a more physically imposing dude than Kickass is. So I would honestly say, percentage-wise, I'm going about 70% Casey Jones, but I think there's a good 30% area where Kickass can win. I'd go 70-30. I think that's pretty fair. But let me know if you think differently. If you do, that's cool. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If there's something you want us to review, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what ifs, anything I do in the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I will get to it at some point. Another Who Would Win will be out tomorrow, and I actually have magic to talk about today. I'm happy. So, I'm going to be doing that in a little bit. Thanks for watching.